And we're streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather is a nippy 15 degrees.
Yeah, I haven't been out there
It's
yet.
beginning to warm up a little bit on Wall Street as it's out of the red and into the green for some of the averages. At least the Dow in particular is leading the way up. The S&P last I looked was very flat. The Nasdaq still down a drop. And oil down a little bit for today. I would think with the cold weather, you need a little oil.
Yeah, one would think. One would think you need a little natural gas.
I got the thermostat up pretty high today.
you alone with that big house of yours.
Yeah,
it's gonna drive up the price of natural gas.
I told you that the Democrats and the Republicans can agree on one thing and one thing only, and that is that they both hate Amazon. Well, they proved it yesterday. They went after Amazon, Apple, Google.
Yeah, it was a big hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, at least they can agree on something. Of course, the something they agree on is going to killing the market.
You're right.
Killing Amazon, which is by far my biggest holding. So I've really taken an enormous hit over the last month.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah,
well, Amazon will come back. I will have to add even more to my Amazon collection. Why not? And CRISPR, again, is my biggest loser, but it looks like it's showing signs of bottoming here.
It does.
I'm actually excited about the prospects of gene editing stocks going forward. I think they turn it around. They're all off 50% or more. Mm-hmm. And I think they're all good prospects, in particular being Natalia and CRISPR, maybe to a lesser extent Editas. Mm-hmm. And Sarepta, which is, I think, a gene editing play, is at a 52-week low as well. Quality company. Into muscular dystrophy, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I don't know if we ever looked at SRPT.
We hadn't discussed that one.
We should really give it a look, maybe a shot. And
give everybody that list.
Saeed is there from Utah, and he says, "Ugly market, but I'm buying more Tesla and BCRX." A wise man, that's Saeed.
Yeah. That is pretty smart. Well, I'm waiting for Tesla to go back on sale again, but that ain't never going to happen.
Big Silenza agrees that it's been a tough few months.
About 9 months. I don't know. I mean, at least for the stuff we've been talking about, there haven't been any real winners.
Well, biotech, from peak to trough, the XBI was 171, I think, at the high, and what it hit the other day, 92 or 90, something like that.
It's a big range.
Yeah, so it's almost cut in half. I mean, that's nasty, real nasty. And IBB is not quite as bad, I don't think, but the XBI.
More general bias, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually in IBB, and I'm seeing it today. Today it's sort of bottoming a little bit. It's up about a 1/5%.
Yeah,
but it's been down.
Before we get into the charts, people want to know the two teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl.
The two teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl, for me.
Yeah, they want to know your thoughts on that because you're the football guru.
I am, boy.
I have my picks, but they're boring. You want me to say
what do you think? It's going to be Tampa Bay again? I think the Rams are going to go.
Kansas City right back.
Unfortunately, there is no. They seem like to be the only game in town. So I'm going to say Rams, Kansas City.
Okay, so you agree with me on Kansas City?
And you don't think the Rams? You think it's going to be Tampa Bay again?
I think it's Tampa Bay again. We'll beat Green Bay. Yeah.
Oh wow,
I think
interesting,
I
interesting.
think I think
That'll be
that
a twofer.
they're too tough. I mean, Brady still got it, and their defense is tremendous. The Rams looked really good playing a very weak team, though.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
we'll
we'll
get a
see.
we'll get a better look when we see what the Rams do with Tampa Bay this weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's. I don't think they'll get past that, but
Well, that'll be an interesting one. That one, I'm really hopeful for the Rams, but not
yeah.
only because I think Tom Brady's had enough, but I usually don't like anything coming out of
By the
Philadelphia.
way, in New York, sports betting is now legal. So
Yay!
I downloaded
Buy house.
the Caesars app. I did not download the DraftKings app.
I refuse. I just can't. This is sort of like I have right near where I live is that thing that used to be Aqueduct racetrack and now is a big casino. It's like
Yeah.
if I step foot in there, I know I'm going to be in trouble. So
I don't.
yeah,
I never play those casino games. Never.
and also, I mean, this is all local inside sports, but it's run by the New York State lottery system, which is
Yeah.
not known to be very generous to its gamblers.
No, I'm sure it'll be a big take.
So
All right, so let's go into let's see what's doing in the market. So share screen.
a cabinet guy doesn't like our audio. Is it me or is it Dr.
Guy says our audio is not working properly.
Well, let me see.
You sound very good to me. How do I sound to you?
Fine.
Maybe it's on cabinet guy's end. Anybody else want to? Graham Wood. Good morning. I wonder if it's could be on our end, but it sounds perfect to me. Anyway, I don't know what to do about it. If it is,
Well, I only have like 9 speakers here. I could always pick a different one.
usually when I share screen is when we run into trouble.
Right. so buckle your seatbelts, everybody.
Yeah, screen.
Graham Wood says loud and clear.
Hey, you here, cabinet guy from the Green Mountain State of Vermont.
So
Big.
you don't have a very long list from your stock twits, but I added a couple of things. But we can see what everyone else has to say also.
Trend ticker right on top is Netflix, down a whopping 22% on very bad subscriptions. That's because the only thing decent on Netflix is Cobra Kai, and they did all 10 of them already. So
everybody's binge Cobra Kai, so they're done with all of Netflix.
I'm a big Cobra Kai fan. I know that's a little silly of me to be a big Cobra Kai fan.
It's an interesting show, but my queue on Netflix is so long that I have no other choice but to be a subscriber for at least another 5 years.
I want to watch the show about the asteroid. A
lot of people are talking about that one. Don't Look Up. It's got a star-studded cast, and it's very preachy about climate change and COVID.
Yeah. So the S&P worsened since I looked earlier. It was worse than it is now, but then it got to even. Now it's down 14. The Dow is up about much more than it is now, up 6 points. The Nasdaq is down 0.69, and the Russell is bucking the trend, up 1%. Crude oil is down 0.5%. Gold is down 0.5%. And Bitcoin is.
Now, do you think gold is moving because of the cryptos?
Yeah, gold is.
That would be very funny.
Crypto is taking it on the chin because of Russia, right?
God, is that it? I mean, I woke up to see the numbers. I was like, wow.
Now the audio is breaking up. Now I hear
because you're sharing your screen. What do you expect?
Yeah, now I don't hear you very well. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine.
Okay, it's your end that's breaking up a little. Disney,
All right.
Disney.
I
You
call the
double
kettle
down
black.
on Disney today. Disney is down 5% or 7 points in sympathy with Netflix. I think they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater because
Yeah, I'm still very bullish on Disney.
Disney is not a pure COVID play. Disney is not a stay-at-home play. Disney is. Don't they have theme parks?
They have theme parks.
Don't they have
They have
Mickey Mouse at 5
they have
o'clock?
they have sports. They have ESPN. They have
Yeah,
ABC. They have everything.
they have everything, and they have Mickey
Right.
and
And they have
Peloton.
Mickey.
Peloton is bouncing back a whopping 13% after being down 22% yesterday to 27.45. That's an interesting one. Our friend Arjun, who was supposed to be on but couldn't make it, he's still short Peloton. He's short Rivian. He's got quite a few shorts working for him, and he's doing well, mainly in cash. So he's really ahead of the curve,
Cash.
Arjun. Yeah, mainly in cash. Amazon down $61 or 2% to 29.71. That's because I added some yesterday.
Amazon is below 3,000 now.
Yes, incredible.
Wow. Bargain prices.
I mean,
Maybe I could afford one share.
You can see the venom being spewed by the Democrats during the debates against Amazon, led by Amy Klobuchar, who's on the committee that voted to regulate the tech companies. Amazon can't put their goods ahead of their competitors' goods, whatever it is.
Right. They tried that with Microsoft, and it didn't really work.
I think it's a whole lot about nothing. And when it comes down to it, I'm not sure that it'll get through the House. But for now, the noise is driving these stocks down, which probably means it's a great buy now.
I would say.
Probably.
What is Apple doing?
Apple was down. Let's see what it is. Well, let me just go through some more of these trending tickers like Coin. Coin is down 10%.
I'm getting creamed on Coin.
Yeah, 198, down $22.77 due to Russia saying they're not going to accept crypto, right?
Is that what it is?
I think that's what the alleged reason is that.
Well, I guess maybe if they're worried about the U.S. giving cyber revenge over their actions in the Ukraine, they'd be smart to get out of cyber-based currency. One would think.
Maybe, and maybe it has something to do with the Fed making noise about they're coming out with their own coin, their own crypto, digital currency. So I don't know what's bringing it down, but it's been on a slide anyway. So
all of the cryptocurrency's been taking a big hit, especially today.
Bitcoin is below 4,000 now, I believe. ETH is down 12.81%. Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The S&P is still holding above the break-even point, up 0.15%, while the Dow is. I think I got to refresh this. This doesn't look.
Keeps changing by the second.
Yeah, I think it needs to be refreshed. Trending tickers, I'm going to refresh it. It's not by the second. I was looking at this a while ago. I just want to make sure it's up to date. Bitcoin is 38,733, off a whopping $4,566. 10.55%. That's why coin
I'm
is
with you,
off
Linus.
11.28%.
Yeah.
And Amazon worsened. It had been down 61 when I meant just, before the show. Now it's down 87, 2.87% to 29.46. We should look at the chart of Amazon and see where the
Yes.
bottom is. I think it must be getting very close to a key turning point, to a key pivot. I think 28 something is what the number I had in mind. And
Really?
yeah, I believe so. The VIX is back above 25.81, but moderating right around there. And the Qs are down 2.75 or 0.76%. Apple, there's Apple, 165, up a half
It's
a
actually up.
dollar. Yeah,
Mhm.
0.31%. Tesla 971, down $25 or 2.5%. Save Foods is bucking the trend, up 12%, SVFD. And the RUT, is up 0.87% or $17.
That is hard to believe that the broader market is actually ignoring a lot of all this.
Yeah. So let's take a look at some of these that we mentioned, like Amazon.
Yeah, you might as well start with Amazon. It was on your list.
Well, we could start with Netflix, down 22%.
Okay. This time we're starting with the bad news, like last time.
Yeah. Well,
Last time we were like, oh, let's give you something good to look at to start.
Yeah, like I think hopefully Beam and CRISPR is still up. They had been up this month. Let's take a look at
Interesting
Netflix.
story, Linus.
Netflix down 21.83%. It's incredible.
Yeesh.
We have two fangs that are really getting killed: Amazon and Netflix. And Metaverse is down today, I believe, as well.
Oh, man.
Facebook, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I know. Calling it Metaverse. Fine.
When you see the stock down
These
triple
name changes.
digits, stock is down triple digits. My goodness. So you undid all the gains going back to April 12th, 2020 in one day,
Yeesh.
practically.
That's, COVID times.
Going back 2 years. Let's see where we are if we extend this low. I didn't draw it. I want to draw a horizontal line. Maybe I might see something interesting, less than horizontal line. Actually, this is pretty horizontal, and it looks like a pretty good support area right around where it is now for Netflix. Considering this big candle, I think we could get a bounce tomorrow, as much as midway back. So, I mean, if you want to speculate, it's probably worth a flyer. What would midway be? Right around
and
here.
in a way, this is interesting because didn't Netflix just recently announce a price increase?
Yes, I think it was $1 a month, something like that.
It's starting to move pretty high. I mean, I'm looking at that bill, and it's starting to be something I can't ignore as much.
Yeah.
And so, and there really wasn't a whole lot of reaction to it.
Yeah.
Over the week, even though the announcement came over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that there's all been red since then. but this could also be a little bit of a hangover from that.
Look at where I drew the line. Middle of that red candle.
Yeah,
is
it's an interesting spot, isn't it?
It's really right at resistance. What should be resistance at this point. So I think it's a good play for if you have gambling spirits to play for a bounce back to 50 points. Looks pretty good to me, considering the overreaction on Netflix. Suddenly, every analyst in the book is out and saying too much competition,
Right.
all sorts of things. Well, how come there wasn't too much competition yesterday for Netflix?
Right.
Today, all of a sudden, there's too much competition. Let's look at another one they're throwing out, I think, with the bathwater. Baby with the bathwater. Disney, yeah. I keyed it in. There we go. Walt Disney Company. Maybe that's the problem. They shouldn't call it Walt Disney. Just Disney is good enough. Walt was not my favorite person.
Well, yeah, he's had his issues.
Yes. What's going on? Okay, so it stopped right at the 200. Interesting, right? Right at the 200 on the weekly. And it bounced back. Let's just take a look at the daily. I think I was on the weekly before too, right?
It's possible, but these stocks, the daily movement is really not all that telling, especially if we're talking about these long trends.
So we have a big gap that formed at this point, but look at how it already got back most of its losses of the. A lot of the losses of the day.
If you look, it's the top end of. There was a long tail, and it looked like it was recovering.
The low is 136.63. We're above 140 now. And what we have to do is come back to close this gap at 147. I think there's super great chances that it closes that gap. Super good chances. For all you Disney fans, it looks like a buying up. Real strong buying up. I'd like to see it close somewhere above this line, and then it'll close that gap, I think, rather easily. So Disney, they're throwing it out with the bathwater. Now, the other question is this just another buy the dip, or is this the start of something much more significant?
Good question. You for these individual stocks or overall?
Overall.
That's a good question. I mean, the way that crypto sort of just fell off the map makes me think that again, maybe we are talking about some more macro trends. Some of the things that were popular last month aren't going to be popular next month.
Yeah, well, crypto has been following the risk off, risk on trade. It's been pretty much in sync with the stock market.
Okay, and what, in 3 times, 4 times, in terms of volatility?
Well, we have what looks like a completed ABC correction right at the 200 on the daily.
For the S&P. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, SPY. It stopped right at the 200, 440.66. I was going to put in an order to buy at 141, and I forgot to do it, and I got distracted. So I'm pretty bullish right now, bouncing off the 200. We have how many days in a row down? 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of the week. Monday was the only strong day.
Right.
I think we make up all of this red for this week, next week. It shouldn't take long. I think we make it all back to at least to the 50. At least to the 50. The 50 right now is at 465.51. To me, this is just another buy the dip. I mean, basically, some stocks will continue to take it on the chin. Those that are viewed as COVID stocks, COVID plays, because the COVID bubble looks like it's bursting, right? So maybe they
It does. Well, at least in the Northeast.
At
But
least
it'll, you know, but you know, as the Northeast goes, so does the rest of the world, or so does the rest of the country. So yeah, you're going to see that quote unquote crest of the wave.
Yeah. Well, what is
soon.
COVID?
So-
I think in Nassau County, I think it's down. 7-day moving average is down 65.
Yeah, no, New York and New Jersey in particular are past the peak.
Yeah.
And yeah, little by little, we'll see that work its way westward.
Let's just draw one line that I'm interested in drawing.
This is sort of doing what I if you notice what we were talking about here, we were talking about like the wavering of it. You have this upward trend, but then it plays off of the, what is that, the 50, now it's playing off the 100, and now it's playing off the 200. So yeah, if you like speculating this market, and if it bounces like you said it's gonna, then we're just dealing with a wider range to arbitrage in.
The next really major support level is in here at about 4.25. Down here, I mean, the line that I just drew.
Yeah, but my question to you is a parallel line appropriate in this context?
Well, I always like to draw a horizontal line at a key support level, but it doesn't have to get there because the 200 is also a key support level for the SPY. It hasn't often tested that in the recent recent months. Let's do the weekly. Or maybe let's just
that wasn't the weekly.
Let's just crunch this. See what happens. I don't see it hitting the 200. When did it last?
No.
All the way
Right,
back
exactly.
here. All the way back in 2020, June of 2020.
Yeah, that was a recovery off of the beginning of COVID.
Yeah. Oh, you actually crossed the 200 then, positive cross.
Right.
So that doesn't even count.
Because we had such a dump in March.
Yeah. The 50 and the 100 came into play. This is significant, and it's the first time the 200 is being tested as a support line,
Right.
as support. So
But you notice, if you draw along the top seems somewhat steady.
This top?
Yeah, the top of the curve. In other words, anything you bounded on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
The highs.
There's definitely a nice trend line along the highs.
And the lows have a behavior that we're seeing. It's just not a behavior that we're necessarily like.
I'll draw the treetops.
Yeah.
Let's just see how the treetops look.
There you go. Look at that. Yeah.
Very nice.
And it's just interesting how that's parallel to the 200.
Yes, late for a very long time, going back till let's say beginning of 21, right? Going back to 12, 15, 20, we have a lot of, basically it's a parallel line. It's basically forming a trading channel.
Right, so when it recovers, we know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it should definitely bounce back up to the trend line again, up around 500 on the spiders. I see 500 in the future. It's a question of when, but it'll hit that line again. And when it does, it'll have to hit it at around 500, right?
Yep.
More than likely, it's not going to go straight back
No.
And, I mean, even if it goes almost straight back, it's 500. So if it stays true to this trend line, the upper trend line, it's we're in for a big rally. I'm very optimistic now. I'm beginning to think that we've seen the end of the what kind of pullback was this? 10%? Let's say from the high. What the hell was the high here? The high was 480, and it hit 440, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a 40-point pullback from 480. It's more than 10%.
Yeah.
More than 10%. I think that's sufficient. It's enough. I say it's enough. We've gone down far enough.
From your mouth to God's ear, Dr. J.
Well, it's far enough as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to probably buy some more some more SPY. I actually I should have put the order in this morning, but like I said, I just I didn't get around to it. And I just happened to see Salva. I'm going to click it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Alzheimer plays are still alive. They just took a breather. They're not
I hope you're right. I've been moving myself back into those also.
Yeah, they're not dead. They just been severely wounded, but they're not dead. Salva, upon good news from the interim results of its phase 3 trial, any inkling of good news, and this thing is $100. You don't have to wait for it to be 500. You can make a nice profit at 100. And look at where it came down to.
Save a couple chairs from the
just where we said it would, just where we said it would. We drew this line just the other day. We said 4120 would be the support. 4120? No. What's the low of this? 3440 would be support. And did it hit that today? I don't know what it hit, but it came close.
3519 was the low of the day.
It's close enough. It looks like a good, as you like to say, nibble at this point. Nibble on it.
Yeah, well, I'm only using your words, Dr. J.
Of course, it's risky because the FDA, you name the agency, they're all looking at it. FDA, SEC, NIH. But meanwhile, people are clamoring to get into this trial.
That was the downside to the whole debacle with Biogen.
Yeah.
So now they have, once burned, twice shy kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Biogen set a very low bar for approval on Alzheimer's drugs. And this one in phase 2 had stunningly good results. So if we get anything like that for phase 3, the sky is a limit potentially on this one. Of course, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with an advisor before acting. But I'm acting to buy more Salva. Mm-hmm. I've been nibbling on it, but I might take a chunk at this point.
You might take a big bite.
Might take a big bite. I don't know. CRISPR on our list?
I have it on the list.
Okay, CRISPR is going to
might not be on your list, but it's on my list.
I don't know which list it's on. Santa Claus's list.
Well, yeah, I'm checking it twice. No, my list is a superset of your list.
Oh, okay. CRISPR. Well, we drew the line where we thought it would stop, and it's sort of testing that line right now. It's trading below it, actually.
Yeah.
Made another new low today, apparently. What was the low today? It's hard to grab it. The low today was
Well,
62.80.
today's not a good day to.
62.80 was the low, but we have a nice recovery. Nice recovery. Low to
Funny, I have
second.
one of my notes says jump on it if it goes to 32. Not that that's
Yeah.
likely.
Hopefully not. It looks to me like it's beginning to round.
Yeah.
This thing will bottom. It's just a question of when. I don't think it's going to go all the way down to that area of support that I talked about in the 30s. I
Right.
suspect it'll stop somewhere around here as Biotech turns it around, as the XBI turns it around. For further clues, let's look at the XBI. So CRISPR to me is a nibble. Do not go whole hog in, but nibble. XBI is actually up in the green by a little tiny itsy bitsy bit, by 0.9 cents. Every penny counts, 92.06. Again, from peak to trough, it's been an unbelievable disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, the knife will stop falling. And that could have been, believe it or not, today. And I like this green candle.
Right.
It looks like accumulation is going on. You see, whenever you get a candle like this with the shadows, pretty big shadows in both directions, and a little green body, to me that means accumulation. So although the volume is not that significant, but I'd like to see a green close today. I don't care how green, as long as it's green.
Mm-hmm.
It's right about even right now on the day. I mean, it's just been outrageous. People who shorted this made a fortune.
Yeah.
And they're
Well, because the news was good. The news was good at the beginning of the year, even, and certainly towards the end of the year, we had a lot of good news coming out in terms of the vaccines, the pills, the stuff we're talking about with the Alzheimer's.
Ooh, it's been almost relentless. It's been down, and then it's then a little.
That little moderation right there was we were all thinking there was going to be a turnaround. I mean, I got fooled in there thinking that was a good time to buy.
It's difficult to call a bottom on this. It's difficult.
Christopher, we sort of talked about coin, but we didn't do any charts.
This is the weekly, and on the weekly, it's
You're not getting that nibble sign just yet.
Yeah, now we're at 91.86. We actually turned negative on the day. And on the weekly, it's the same thing, pretty much. We had this plateau for a while, and now we have another leg down. And I mean, it's possible we could go back to March 16th, 2020. With a low of $63, because there's not much in the way of support here. So
we already lost to 200, is what you're saying.
Yeah, on the weekly looks just awful. So does the daily. The XBI is the only thing you could say is that there's some support right where we are. Going back to April of 2020, when we hit 89.45. Actually, we hit a little lower than that for the day. We hit a low of, we closed at 90.83. There is a little support going back to April.
Yeah, I see.
So either it looks to me like either we turn it around right here, or there's a good chance, there's a chance we go back down to $63.
Wow.
Right here, this is like
Yeah,
this
I
is
see
like
it. Wow.
this looks like the line in the sand to me. The line in the sand has been drawn.
Well, according to the daily, we're getting a little bit of a bounce off it. So 1 or 2 more days, we'll know.
Yeah, although it's worsening as we talk. Maybe we should quit talking.
Exactly. Moving on.
Moving on. Go to a different chart. This is a good chart. We'll look at a good chart. I think it's a good chart. Today it's up anyway, being not up that much, 2.83% after the beating.
It doesn't. It's not looking the same as CRISPR.
No, it's actually same market cap, same price, very similar. They're twins right now.
Oh, because you're on the weekly.
chart,
I was wondering why.
the chart of Beam is a lot better than the chart of CRISPR.
Certainly is.
However, yeah. So we have an attempt for a rally today. It hit 69.92. And look where we are now, 64.64. But it also, there was an attempt to go lower at 61.30. So right now it's the bulls battling it out with the bears for the day, with the I think the bears have it so far, but it's close, very close for the day. And the low here is very critical. It's 56.34. That will be critical on the weekly. Well, this is a weekly. I'm sorry. The bears and bulls.
Yeah, no, it's a weekly.
For the weekly. And for the weekly, this is very critical area, 56.34. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily on Beam. Well, we have support from Wednesday. Wednesday would be the key area, 61.30. Below that would be big trouble. So 61.30 is a key area to watch. And also right where it closed, I think is important. You don't want to get a new closing low either. So it closed, the lowest close was right here, 62.37. And that's about where we went down to today. Let's see. 62, yeah. The low was, so 4 days ago, we put a closing low of 62.07, and today it hit 62. So it's testing this support area, these two lines that I drew. And so far it's passing the test.
Right.
Beam Therapeutics. So it tried to rally and it's come all the way down. If it gives it all back to close in the red, then what can I say? Then buy puts.
You're right. Protect your holdings.
Yeah, buy puts. If it can't hold this green today, buy puts.
So Marco's saying since Shiggy's not here, you could look at Athesis.
Ah, okay. Who doesn't like when I look at a Jiggly?
Yeah, he always says something, but he's not on, so he can't say anything.
Jiggly says, take Athesis out to the barn and shoot it.
Well, I got some news today because they just hired somebody for the C-suite. It looks like they're going to make the product work.
They're hiring a real person. This guy's a real person at that.
Oh yeah, so the news says.
I would say that's very good news. We're
It's
playing
just
at
not,
the
it's not
lows.
reflecting it here at all. You're on the daily, right? Yeah, this is the daily.
Yeah, the low of 81 pennies is in play. I'm not going to say anything about this one because I just keep buying a little bit every day and don't care. I'm in a don't care mode with this one. I would surprise me if it makes a big move down to 50 cents. It could happen, but it would surprise
Bite
me.
your tongue.
I think more likely we're playing in the 80 to $1 range for now. Up here. What is this? This is $1.07. I think that's the trading range. I think we're at the low end of the trading range. So I would put the trading range right in there. So I'm looking at 80 cents, 81 cents, let's say 80 cents to $1.10. You're looking at a 30-cent trading range. And I think you're going to get some seesawing between these two lines up until you get news on the ischemic stroke trial, probably in April or May
Which year?
this year.
Okay.
This year. I don't think you'll get any European partner that has basically been killed with Hardy assuming power on the board. Hardy is the CEO of Helios, their Japanese partner. He doesn't want a European partner involved. There won't be one, in my opinion. So I think no, you're on hold in this trading range until May, and it won't go much lower, I don't think, because the longs that haven't relinquished their shares yet are not relinquishing it
Right.
until that data comes out. No
They
way.
haven't dumped at 3, they're not dumping at 1.
That goes for any institutions or any capital, any venture capitalists, and anybody who's been in it a while, not going anywhere till that data comes out. So I think we're good. We're good at 80 cents.
Okay.
It's not a good number, but we're good here, in my opinion.
All right. Well, we've exhausted your list, but I do have a couple personal requests. You could choose
Sure.
one or two of them and then move on. What do you think between either Chevron or Moderna? Which one do you want to look at?
Either one.
All right. Then we're doing both.
Chevron, SCVX.
CVX. Yes. I was taking this one to the moon.
Pull back
Nice
today
pullback.
because we had a little pullback in the price of oil. It's a pretty terrible candle. But it's had a nice run, so a little pullback is to be expected, I suppose.
I know it's just I find that ironic when you right you observe a run, so you jump on it, and just when you jump on it, that's the pullback day. Then it's like you average the price.
Let's speak more generally about oil. I think oil is going to hit triple digits, and if I'm right about that, Chevron's going up from here. Also, we found trendline support today and bounced off of it. Positive. I like Chevron. I don't know where it's going exactly. If oil goes to 100, this will go up 20% more, 25% more.
Nice. Interesting.
So you do the math. Maybe it goes to, I don't know, maybe it goes to 150, something like that, or move to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like me, thinking it's going up oil, then stay in Chevron or stay in Exxon, stay in BP. Could chart any of them. They're all more or less going to be the same.
Yeah, your friend who was doing the the stocks with us. What was his? It was
BP, he's a
this was
BP guy.
BP.
Look, BP
All right.
down today as well, and also found support. BP looks really good. It closed the gap today.
Yeah, look at that.
Looks good.
Well, we
Yeah.
got to see what happens off of that.
Looks like a
The
good
rest,
entry.
whether or not it bounces off that gap top right there. What is that? Where is
Looks
that?
like a very looks like a very good entry point.
Doesn't it?
Right where we are. Right? The gap was the close was 30.54. I think it hit 30.54 today. Let's see. It hit 30.55. Close enough.
Okay. Yeah. So now it's just going to recover.
We'll call that a gap close.
Uh-huh.
So it closed the gap for all intents and purposes. What else do we have?
So we really talked about coin, but somebody actually brought it up, asked if we talked about it. It's worth looking at the chart.
We never charted.
We didn't chart it, no. So we might as well chart it.
Yeah, coin is going to look a lot like Bitcoin, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a softer version, right? But it's definitely going to be a big reaction.
Yeah. So on the daily, the support level was made about a week and a half ago. We'll draw that line in. The recent low from last week would be support, or at least a critical area that traders are going to look at, if not support.
Right.
Critical, let's call it a critical area.
And that's what I saw too. Look, that's around September now. Well, since last September. Oh, you're going okay.
January 10th, it hit a low of 214. No, it hit a low. I'm confused. Oh yeah, we went below that today. I think I didn't see this candle in here.
Yeah, no, that was the big hit. That's right. This was the big hit from.
So now that becomes resistance. That low 214 is resistance.
That was my question, whether or not whether or not this was just a blip, or whether or not that's new resistance.
I think that's new resistance. For now.
Bad news. Yeah.
And let's look at GBTC as well.
Right.
Get an idea of Bitcoin's chart, which should look somewhat like that.
Well, sometimes Ethereum is a more stable representation of the Bitcoin market, of the crypto market. Yeah, it took the same drop.
Another big gap down. And this is about as low as I can remember GBTC in recently, right? Going back maybe 2 years ago.
The chart will tell you right now.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
So it's going to eat up all of last year.
Oh, I'm gonna go to the weekly.
Yeah, you have to
get a better perspective.
Something volatile like this,
so here we clearly see that back in 2021, summer of 2021, it was trading as low as $24. So we're very close to that low of $24, which is a very key low. Very key. Extremely key low. That $23.84, $24, where I mean it's got a number of hits. So a good place to buy this thing is when it comes down to 24 and change, 24.50.
So at that point, you wouldn't see that as new resistance, but you would see that as a bottom.
Well, for now.
Oh yeah, right. Until it busts it.
For now.
Right. Because every floor is a new ceiling, and every ceiling is in the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin is probably in a trading range between 30,000 and 65,000. Is that a trading range? That's too big.
I just say between
But
negative infinity and positive infinity.
you might as well, but it seems like that's a trading range. It's like a huge trading range. But every time it gets cut in half, it makes a new high. So what was the high of GBTC? Let's divide by 2 and buy that. Let's see what was the high. The high of the year. I don't know. Maybe this can.
The high of the year.
58.
Because if you're doing weekly right now, you got a couple of years in your picture.
58.22 is the peak that I see. So 58.22 divided by half is like, let's say $29. I think you can buy this thing because the chart is just ridiculous on Bitcoin in general. Every time it gets cut in half, it makes a new high, and it's repeat. So buy it again if it goes below this support area. Unless you think Russia's refusal to deal with crypto is a significant event. I don't think it is.
And I don't think they're the only game in town anyway.
Yeah, they're not the only game in town. What else did I have, if anything?
Everything that you had was on. The only thing I added, like I said, was Moderna and ACIU. Because we hadn't talked about that one in a while.
Let's do
Moderna. Because more people have Moderna.
And a COVID,
and then we can end.
It's viewed as a COVID bust play. And that's why it's down every single day, just like
right. But it took. You're on the weekly right now, right? You should go to the daily because just of what's been happening.
It's not even holding the support of the moving averages.
Right, I know, because that's where I picked. That's where I got in. I jumped in, going, "Oh, this is the perfect spot."
Yeah.
Now there's a new perfect spot.
I'm not. I don't know what that new perfect spot is. It's just.
Well, I'm getting confused about it myself.
Value-wise, this is tremendous value.
Yeah,
tremendous value. But chart-wise, it looks like you're looking at 146.85 as support on the weekly.
Was that the beginning of the year again? Wow.
That would be all the way back to 5/9/21.
Right, May. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, what a ride.
Terrible. It's just this is. I think it hit 450 at one point. 497.
Yeah. Then it took a big dump.
$500 down to 160. Wow. People got rich both ways, going long and short.
Right. Well, some people.
There's plenty of room for the astute trader to make money on Moderna.
Right, because we're still claiming that it's not just a COVID play.
I think this line should hold. If it doesn't, then you're looking at 117. But I think at this point, 143, 145, let's say, looks like a good entry. I think this one probably should be owned at this level. It's a likely turnaround at some point. And they're a great company with great technology. I wanted to do SRPT.
Oh, okay.
Company that we haven't talked about.
Oh, right. That's another gene editing play, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're gene editing or RNAi, but they're in Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and they had a peak that was also much higher than where it is now. It made a 52-week low yesterday, I believe, and it's continuing on down. I don't know what else they're into besides Duchenne muscular dystrophy, but they probably have a bigger pipeline than that. I don't follow it. I just want to look at it because of the low that it turned in.
Just so you know, you're on the weekly again. In terms
Yeah,
of,
I know. We're at a multi-year low.
Because it looks like it's taking it on the chin right now this week.
Oh yeah, multi-year low. It's hard to say buy something like this,
Right.
But on the other
Again,
hand,
buy or wait.
Yeah, it's just if it holds this low, if it manages to not sever itself from this 65.36 low, I mean that the weekly candle will always continue to touch this. It might turn around right around where it is, as Biotech may turn it around right about now. So I'm thinking
You would get a double bounce from the 9 off of the 50, which is something.
Yeah. I'm thinking the market could be turning it around. The XBI could be turning it around next week. So in that case, the bargains. But as we speak, look what happened. Redder and redder and redder.
Oh boy!
With the
Well,
Russell,
we're gonna have a tough Monday then.
Russell in our show, and look where I want to get to end the show. See it. I'm curious. Just
I think did we lose you, Dr. J?
No, I'm just waiting for IWM, and I got Netflix.
You got Netflix. IWM would be an interesting play. It's.
I do want to see IWM.
It could be a bounce. This is that crossroads.
Maybe I'll type it in this area, IWM.
Right.
Maybe I'll get it. Silence is bad on a show like this, right? We got to keep talking while it's low.
Because people think that one of our machines went down.
It gives people time to make buys and trade.
Right, exactly. The on-air buys and on-air sells. I just made an on-air buy.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, look at that. Went below 2. Oh my gosh, that was the line in the sand, wasn't
it? I think 190 is the next stop, if I remember correctly.
Eesh.
It looks like 190 coming our way. Oh man, not good.
Yeah, like I said, this might be a bloody Monday.
You were right, and Professor Omar was wrong.
I'm not going to call it yet because we're at that crossroads.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at how that candle is straddling the line.
This is where we're heading.
Man.
Next stop on the Express, on the ETF IWM Express looks like 190.
Now, I hate to sound like a
And
Californian,
it doesn't
but
want, it doesn't,
is this the big one, or is this a pre-shock to the big one?
I think it's buy the dips, but the question is, when do you buy the dip? Do you wait for 190, or do you buy a little right here?
Yeah, no. What do I have my line at? For a while, I had it at 200.
197.60 it hit today.
Mm-hmm.
It's 200 again. Tough.
Yeah,
But
we're straddling that line.
I just want to draw the horizontal in here and see where it takes me.
Uh-huh.
See if it takes me anywhere interesting at all.
Talking about at the 200.
Yeah, it takes me to the open of the week of 1/3. The open was 197.54. Takes me right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good chance 190 will be the bottom, though, at this point. The odds favor 190 being the bottom, as opposed to
Right. As opposed to where that gap is before the end of last year. This is that gap.
Yeah.
And that gap is right around the what is that black line?
This is the 200, 173.28.
The 200 is right at the gap now.
Yeah.
Eesh.
There's a gap over here from 11/1/2020.
Mm-hmm.
165. The close was 163.62.
Well,
I hate to pencil that in.
There's your new entry point.
I think more likely 190 holds.
Okay.
190 would be a significant pullback. I mean, it's already a significant pullback from peak to trough. 244 was the high. And so we're off 44 points from 244. What is that? More than 15%. We're down a lot on the IWM. The IWM probably the worst performing index. Okay, so we'll end on a yucky poo, the IWM. The chances are we're in for a little more pain. I thought maybe Monday would be the day we turn it around, but the way the price has moved in the last hour while we're talking makes me much less optimistic. I'm more pessimistic at this point. I'm thinking 190 on the Russell.
Patrick is funny. He just says I'll buy APU.
Still hopeful that the SPY much more to go. And Pat has a good statement. I want to put his more an interesting statement.
Exactly. Maybe that's the way to go.
Patrick says,
I just bought one share of Amazon just now. My first ever.
Patrick, that makes a lot of sense because Arenia Pharmaceuticals is strictly a takeover play. We don't care what the XBI does. Arenia Pharmaceuticals will be bought, in our opinion. Very
not today,
good, Patrick.
Tomorrow, soon.
Christopher wants to know, did we talk about coin? Yes.
Yeah, we did. We actually talked. We did a shot in response to his question. So we try to take care of our audience, guys, just like you take care of us.
And Magnificent Dancer doesn't have much to say other than shalom. Maybe he said it earlier.
Yeah, this is a while ago. That's almost an hour ago, Dr. J.
All right. So we're going to say adios, amigos. Thank you for doing a wonderful show, and tell your friends.
Let's pray that Monday is not a bloodbath. That actually we have a little bit of recovery before the end of the weekend.
You can't find a quirkier guy than me or a smarter guy than Professor Spike. So adios, amigos. Ciao.
Bye bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye.